It started like any other lazy Sunday. My wife Emma was sipping her chamomile tea while I flipped through the newspaper, half watching a squirrel raid our bird feeder. Then, out of nowhere, an unmarked black van screeched to a halt in front of our house, straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster. 3 men in tactical vests jumped out, yelling, "HOA compliance enforcement," as they stormed our driveway. Before I could blink, they yanked Emma off our porch swing, dragging her across the lawn, her tea mug still in her grip. But here's what froze me. She didn't scream or fight. She just turned, gave me a calm, deliberate wink, and I realized I didn't truly know the woman I'd married. Let me backtrack. Our neighborhood, Willow Creek, is the kind of place where people bicker over mailbox styles and plan block parties with surgical precision. The local HOA, led by a woman named Dorothy, yes, that's her real name, rules like she's the empress of this suburban fiefdom. She once fined us $50 for lawn clutter because our cat left a toy on the steps. Another time, she demanded we reduce noise at a barbecue. We chalked it up to petty control freak nonsense, annoying but harmless. Emma always brushed off Dorothy's antics. She was the grounded type, a genius with orchids, vague about her past, dull office jobs, and a whiz at fixing any gadget in minutes. She taught yoga to neighbors, grew rare roses like it was her destiny, and never flinched, not during power outages, not when a possum stole her sandal, and apparently not when fake HOA goons hauled her into a van. The second the van doors slammed and sped off, I went into full panic. I called the police, voice shaking as I described the abduction. The dispatcher listened until I mentioned HOA enforcement. Her tone sharpened. "Sir, we've had reports of impersonators in your area. Officers are en route." Impersonators? Who hires thugs to kidnap people over HOA rules? I was still reeling from Emma's eerie composure. That wink wasn't fear. It was calculated, like she'd orchestrated it. But why? I tried her phone voicemail. Texted no reply. Then I noticed a blinking alert on our smart home hub, Crest protocol activated. I tapped it, and a hidden panel slid open behind our bookshelf, revealing a steel case with a biometric lock, already disengaged. Inside, a sleek laptop, a black phone, and an envelope with my name in Emma's handwriting. Hands shaking, I opened the letter. "If you're reading this, I've been taken. Don't panic, this is part of the plan." Part of the plan? I wasn't even in on it. It continued. "I know this is a shock, but I work for the CIA. I was retired, technically, but Willow Creek is tied to an ongoing case. The HOA is into something massive. I'll explain later. For now, trust no one, especially Dorothy." My legs buckled. My wife was a spy, and the HOA wasn't just nosy, it was a potential front for something sinister. I booted up the laptop, which opened to a CIA portal keyed to my face. A file appeared, Operation Thornvale. I skimmed it, surveillance clips, maps with marked spots around Willow Creek, dossiers on HOA board members. Dorothy's file was enormous. Bank records, trips to sketchy locations, an invoice to a private security firm for fake cops mercenaries from Arizona with a slick, vague website. Then I found another file, contingency plan, suburban sweep. It opened a live satellite feed of Willow Creek. I watched the van turn down a wooded path near the community pavilion, recently closed for repairs. Following Emma's note, I grabbed the black phone and dialed the number she'd left. It rang once. "Mr. Carter," a woman answered. "Who's this?" "I'm Lila, with Emma's unit. She's safe for now. We're tracking her. Help's coming." "What's happening? Why is the HOA kidnapping people?" "It's not just an HOA," Lila said grimly. "Dorothy's not who she seems. She's under watch for laundering money through suburban setups, possibly tied to foreign groups. Emma volunteered to go undercover here. This place is a front." My throat went dry. "What do I do?" "Stay put." Backup sneer. "Don't let any HOA people inside." She hung up. I turned, and there was Dorothy, standing on my lawn in her pastel blazer, smiling like a shark, flanked by two fake enforcers. "Mr. Carter," she called, voice syrupy, "we need to discuss your wife's recent violations." This wasn't a chat. It was a standoff. Dorothy lingered like she owned the place, her HOA binder clutched like a shield. Her goons loomed, their vests slightly crooked. One had a toy dart stuck to his boot. It'd be funny if I wasn't sure they were armed. I waved from the window, playing clueless, and she gave a sharp nod before leaving. I locked the doors, lowered the blinds, and paced, rereading Emma's letter. CIA. Dorothy laundering money. Our idyllic neighborhood, a criminal hub. My calm, rose-growing wife was running a covert op without a hint. That wink wasn't courage, it was mastery. The phone buzzed. "Lila again. Help's in the area. Don't engage unless you have to. They're watching." I stepped onto the back porch, scanning the yard. Everything seemed normal, birds singing, hammocks swaying, until I noticed Mrs. Hargrove, our neighbor, watering her flowers in a deliberate loop, signaling something. I waved. She flashed a quick gesture and slipped inside. That night, wired on coffee, I snuck to her place. She opened the door instantly. "Get in. They're sweeping again soon." Her house was a command center, screens showing the block, radios humming, files labeled Operation Suburbia, Phase 2. I whispered. She grinned. "Part of Emma's team. Codename Fern. Don't laugh. We're all plants." I didn't. She explained Emma had prepped for this, activating a failsafe when they took her. "Your role," Fern said. "Emma trusted you to be unpredictable, a wild card." They'd tracked Emma to the community pavilion's basement, disguised as a storm shelter. She'd let them take her, thanks to a GPS in her shoe. The team needed me to disable the security grid tied to our home system. Emma's tech hobby was counterintelligence wiring. Fern handed me a flash drive with a virus and pointed to the shed behind the pavilion, the goons' hangout. The next day, I played it cool, took out the trash, waved at Dorothy, who eyed me like a hawk, and waited. When the guards took a break, I darted to the shed, picked the lock, thanks to Emma's spy date lessons, and plugged in the drive. The panel flashed green. I bolted. That night, Emma's voice crackled through the phone. "Nice work, babe. They're blind now. Extraction soon. Sorry I kept this quiet. I'll explain everything." The line cut. The next morning, Willow Creek looked unchanged, kids on scooters, lawns perfect. But I saw it differently. Every lamppost, every garden gnome could hide a camera. The pavilion, with its cheery banners, masked a criminal underworld. Fern texted. Extraction was that evening. My job? Join undercover neighbors at the fake HOA budget meeting to stall Dorothy while Emma's team breached from below. At dawn, I met the crew in a garage disguised as a model train workshop. Gruff Pete, ex-Special Forces, chatty Nora, multilingual techie, and our mailman Sam, intel specialist. They welcomed me with a muffin. CIA pastries hit different. The plan: I'd pose as an annoyed resident. Nora would pack a flash bomb disguised as mints, Pete would jam comms, and Sam would watch the van. We'd keep Dorothy busy for 12 minutes. Walking into the meeting, Dorothy greeted us with a predator's smile, handing me a hefty agenda. "Good to see you, Mr. Carter," she purred. I forced a grin. Just keeping my lawn out of trouble. The meeting dragged fees, gate colors, until I questioned a $14,000 audio upgrade line item. Dorothy faltered. "For events," she lied. "In the basement?" I pressed. Her eyes flickered. She knew I knew. At 8 minutes, Nora dropped her purse, signaling the team was close. A buzz killed the Wi-Fi. Pete's work. Dorothy shot up. "Meeting's over," she snapped, lunging for the exit. I blocked her. "Leaving so soon? You're obstructing HOA rules," she hissed. "And you're laundering cash," Claudia Reed. Her mask dropped. She signaled her men, fake ushers with guns, but Nora's mint bomb flashed, blinding them. Chaos erupted. Sam locked the fire exit remotely and a trapdoor burst open. Emma emerged, dusty, wielding a stun baton. "Miss me," she taunted, dropping Dorothy with a zap and a kick. Feds, posing as gardeners, swarmed in, cuffing Dorothy's crew. She glared, silent, as Emma quipped, "Stick to yard fines next time." The cover story was embezzlement. The truth was wilder. That night, on the porch swing, Emma sighed. "I should have told you." I smirked. "You did spy style." She laughed, and for a moment it felt normal. But the next day, Victor, the new HOA guy, arrived in aviators, clutching a clipboard, dripping suspicion. He claimed he was interim president, sent by corporate. His pitch about compliance monitoring screamed cover-up. Emma intercepted a coded transmission from him, private sector, linked to Dorothy's shell companies. They weren't done with Willow Creek. They wanted revenge. That night, Emma rallied the real neighbors, folks fed up with fines and Dorothy's reign. Under our sensor-rigged patio lights, she gave them the sanitized truth. The HOA was corrupt, Victor was a plant, and we had to fight back. They didn't balk, they got mad. Old Mr. Baxter cursed Dorothy's hedge rules. Mrs. Lyle griped about her 2 blue shutters. By dawn, we launched Phase 4. Neighborhood Watch. Hedges became cover. Wi-Fi looped fake feeds. Kids ran lookout. It looked like a barbecue, grills, music, but it was war prep. Victor's reunification event came with props, UV mist, glowing ink on cups, a mic wired to broadcast his own words. Mid-speech about community, Victor hit a button to signal his crew. Instead, his voice boomed, "Neutralize non-compliers." He froze, tried to laugh it off, but Mrs. Lyle doused him with lemonade. Then the lawn sprinklers rigged with dye sprayed him neon green as he fled. Viral by dusk. Dorothy's trial hit later. Fraud, laundering, conspiracy charges. Emma got a quiet promotion. I became HOA president, rewriting rules to ban enforcement squads. We threw a real party, Liberty Lane Day, with gaudy decorations and 0 fines. A month later, a woman in a trench coat moved in, speaking Polish. Emma zested her tea, unfazed. "Coincidence?" I asked. "Maybe," she grinned. "Keep the porch cam on." We were ready. But for now, Willow Creek was ours again. The swing swayed, the roses bloomed, and Emma's hand rested in mine. No more secrets, or so I hoped.